Dr. Kefentse Mzwinila is the Minister of Land and Water Affairs from Botswana. He was a registered student with the Northwest University Business School. Dr. Kefentse, you are welcome.
Thank you, Prof.
How do you feel becoming a doctor? What can you tell us about that? What is the feeling like?
Well, it's a good feeling. It's the culmination of many months and years of effort. So it's a very good and compelling and satisfying feeling.
Can you tell us what is your view with regard to the aspect, the topic of climate change and water resource management challenges?
Climate change has adversely affected our water resources and our water supply security. In our country, in the rural areas, around 60% of our water supply is from underground water, from the aquifers. Now, the aquifers require aquifer recharge. Aquifer recharge requires constant and continuous and reliable rainfall. So we have been observing that a lot of our boreholes are drying up. A lot of our boreholes are requiring us to go to greater depths in terms of obtaining the water source. A lot of our boreholes have resulted in us getting to saline water levels and thus requiring more advanced technology, more expensive technology to clean and treat the water. And that is a result of climate change. The dams are also require for there to be consistent and good quality rainfall, which we can measure and rely upon. But the temperature changes where there's a greater rate of evaporation or evapotranspiration has resulted in the dam levels also being affected, in the sense that there's less water going to the dams and there's more water evaporating from the dams. But what you also have to address is how we conserve or how we manage the available resources we have. We have to look at issues related to how to better manage knowledge in terms of being able to manage the water resource, manage the water sector. Dr. Masisi has asked us to transform into a knowledge-based economy. And one of those issues, or one of the tenets of transforming into a knowledge-based economy, is using knowledge to manage our resources in the midst of the challenges we have. And as is rightly pointed, or as I rightly tried to point out, one of the major challenges has been issues of climate change.
How are your findings going to assist the Water Utility Corporation in Botswana to meet or to assist in mitigating some of those challenges that your government or the country is confronted with regard to water shortages or climate change?
One of the inspirations in terms of my doing this thesis was the fact that His Excellency the President of Botswana did motivate us, did persuade us, did encourage us to be active participants and active leaders in the transformation to a knowledge-based economy. Now, this entails us looking at what we have, the resources we have, and seeing how we can use them in a more efficient, more effective, and smarter manner. Looking at how organizations, or particular organizations in the water sector, have been functioning in terms of certain variables related to organizational performance, such as customer satisfaction, such as employee attraction, employee retention, and looking at what are the independent variables which lead to higher levels of those organizational performance variables. To be more specific, is that how you can use knowledge, create knowledge, and sustain that knowledge and implement that knowledge within the organization as a resource to effectively make the organization perform better, because the challenges are increasing as a result of climatic conditions. The challenges are increasing as a result of socio-economic variables related to the demands of the economy on the water sector, because the water sector is the first and basic form of infrastructure that is required for economic growth, that is required for economic diversification. If we can overcome the challenges that we are encountering by having a more knowledge refined, a more knowledgeable utility, a more knowledge conscious, a more knowledge infused, and a more knowledge implementing utility, we are better able to achieve higher levels of organizational performance.
Do you think the water challenges that is facing Botswana, is it specific to Botswana or is it a regional challenge in your view?
Well, in my view, it's a continental challenge as well as a regional challenge. But in our particular dispensation, it is exacerbated by the fact that we are landlocked, we are semi-arid, we are historically water scarce, and we have a net water deficit in the country. And our population is sparsely distributed across the country. Now, I say that because that has implications in terms of infrastructure development. You see, if your population distribution is sparsely distributed, it means that you require more resources to get water to people, as opposed to them being located in centralized locations. So we're historically like that, and we're going to continue being like that. Also, those challenges are made more pronounced by the fact that our top three revenue earners, which is mining, tourism, and agriculture, specifically the beef sector, require water. I would say that our challenges are unique, which make us one of the most water challenged countries. But equally so, we are one of the countries that has invested heavily in ensuring that we provide water to our people, to our population, to our sectors of the economy, that we ensure that there's a growth trajectory in terms of our infrastructure development. We make sure that we look at ways of ensuring long-term water security. For example, in the development budget, the national development budget, or let me say the development expenditure of the national budget, because the national budget has a recurrent and a development side. But in terms of the development side, the water sector is usually the sector that has been given the largest share of the budget for the past few years, which shows the commitment of government, the commitment of those who approve the budget, which is the National Assembly or Parliament, to ensure that even though we have a water challenge, we ensure that we address it and we continue to address it. And at the present moment, we're trying our best to address it. And indicators, not our indicators, not our performance indicators, but international benchmarks, international indicators indicate or display or show that we are addressing the situation. We're not perfect, we're not 100%, but we are adequately addressing the situation and ensuring that water of the right quantity and right quality reaches people.
In your opinion, is there a continental strategy to by African states to tackle this problem of climate change and water challenges across the continent?
At the individual state level, there are sector-specific or water sector-specific plans in place, and then they do culminate in interactions at the regional level. And those regional level interactions are through the different consortia or commissions that we are members or signatories of.
Tomorrow you will be graduating your PhD. I'm privileged to call you doctor. How was the feeling? Because as we are academics of the Northwest University Business School, the students are our client. And from your perspective, how was the services? How have you experienced the Northwest University Business School?
To sum it up in terms of my experience, is that I appreciated the professionalism, I appreciated the supportive nature of the environment, the supportive and conducive nature for growth of the environment.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kefentse Mzwinila. We welcome you into our alumni, and we hope the Northwest University Business School is looking forward to constantly interact with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.